And we are live. Yes, we are live. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. And of course, these two ladies here need no introduction, but I introduce them each week because you never know. You never know who is watching. So, I always point to the wrong side. It's backwards. So over here, this is Lady G in New Mexico. And then I just do this carefully down here. We literally have Lena down under. Now, as you guys know, this show spans 17 time zones live. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? And somehow I have to get myself together every Saturday evening, irrespective of what.
It's a miracle. And here I am having breakfast,
And I'm almost to dinner time.
I know.
And for me, it is midnight. So anyway, we have an action-packed show for you this evening, folks. So, of course, we have our usual international elements as well. So just to give you, because, of course, the ladies don't know what's going to happen in the show. So I'm going to give a little brief overview. So we're going to be looking at a certain Kari Lake. Remember her? Yeah, she's come back. We're going to do a revisit on things like USA debt. We're going to look at Africa and India as well. Again, some interesting questions. And then there's going to be a bit of Vivek Ramaswamy with some Shakespeare, a bit of Trump. And then the last one is a question about how the USA is viewed by the rest of the world.
Oh,
well, that was a good one. I thought I'd save that till last.
Very
yeah. Indeed. So, ladies, are we ready to begin?
Yeah.
Sure.
Brilliant. Okay, so question number one. Kari Lake, yeah, who I often refer to as Kari Weathervane, yeah, because she just turns whichever way the political wind is blowing.
Yeah.
My God. So at Lucy Claire has asked, Kari Lake is back in the news, running on in support of Trump more recently and singing praises for Orban's government in Hungary. So remember, Orban is a little bit of a quasi-dictator. She's facing blowback, but is she going to go scot-free? So let's just have a general read on Kari Lake and her future and what's going on with that piece of work.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like a bad smell, isn't she? She's like a bad smell. She just won't go away.
Oh, my cards are stuck together. I must have been eating croissants or something with them last time. Wow. Never eat when you've got your cards out. That's terrible. Treat them with respect.
No, indeed. Kari Lake. Kari Weathervane. She's like the Scarlet Pimpernel, that woman, honestly.
Just bad.
And she used to be an Obama supporter.
I know. She's just
and then turned to the dark side.
Yeah. Whichever way the wind is blowing with that one, definitely. Kari Weathervane.
What on earth is going on?
What's going on with her?
Well, I can go if you like.
Go for it, Lena.
These cards, look, all I can say is you get what you deserve in life. Look, she's got the hostage card.
Oh.
The 8 of Swords. Everyone's sick of her. 10 of Swords. Like, really, these are terrible cards. Walking away, and then she's going to try. Yeah, there we go. And then she's going to try and find something else to do. But I think she's going to have to get out of politics if she's going to earn a living in the future, because she seemed like the golden girl for a minute, but everyone's over Kari Lake. So these are not good cards.
Yeah, I can well imagine. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, at the center, what we have is being birthed with the American public. Is above it that she's trying to sell whatever she's trying to sell at the time, the new desires. And, they just want to keep the lid on all of this nonsense. Now, going into it, she's walked the back roads, the dark back roads.
As well.
Yeah, and it's starting some new actions, but rapidly is getting tempered by people. You know, they're just sick of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we don't want to hear it again. Okay. So the challenge is the arguments with democracy and Biden administration, etc. Above it, you know, she's getting hung up upside down, overturned because of all her craziness that she just continues to put out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, overview, they're sick of her.
Yeah, overexposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, overexposed. And what? Of course, I have similar cards to ladies. I pulled 5 cards, and I've got the King of Cups and the Walking Away as well. So if we look here we are. We've got the 8 of Cups, and I think this is the audience. Yeah, I think this is the audience. I think this is also the people of Arizona as well, who are just like, we're so done with this lady. You know, she just keeps on hanging on. Obviously, someone's giving her some money and all this kind of stuff. Honestly, I think she thinks she's Vanessa Williams. Do you remember her? You go and save the best for last. But it's like she won't leave the stage. You know, it's just like everyone is just like, please leave. Just go. Yeah. But when we look here, the obstacle card, there she is. What? Trying to just steal things. They're keeping on with her old rubbish. The election was stolen. The election was stolen. We've got the 5th card here, but it's for her. It's turned up in the obstacle position. So with this one-trick pony, it's not working anymore. People are sick and tired of hearing it. There's more important stuff going on. Here we are. We've got a bit of Biden in the middle here. He's looking at this person who's probably just shaking his head and just thinking, oh my goodness, look at this. But at the same time, with her carryings on, does it hurt the Democrats? I would say no, probably doesn't. Just keeps reminding people how dreadful the GOP are currently. However, as we know, she is a determined character. Yeah, she's got 2 major arcana that's turned up. So here she is, the magician here with her wand, trying to pull every single trick in the book at her disposal. I mean, she's got ideas up her gussets, this woman. Yeah, she's just constantly trying to grift, twist, do something. You know, that's what this card can be about. However, she gets the Judgment card as the outcome. So it's like, I don't think it's gonna fly. There's something she doesn't seem to have realized that if it was going to work by now, it probably would have. Do you know what I mean? So at some point, I think, particularly as the trials go forward and her messiah, Duc L'Orange, increasingly gets entangled in the wheel of justice, she's going to become less and less relevant, I hope. But she's not going to give up. She's not going to give up. Oh, she's like the Borg, relentless. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Kari Lake.
But in Arizona, they are going to do like in Georgia and look at the fake electors, etc. They're starting to do some investigation with the DA there.
Okay.
Oh, maybe she did get the Judgment card, so there could be that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are jumping in our esoteric airplane, and we are returning to India. Yeah. Now, I've been reading on India in my shows, and I'm sure everyone else has as well. And this one is about the Indian election. So this, I think, is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So this is coming from Runa Mukherjee. So thank you, Runa Mukherjee, for your message. And what they say is, democracy is as much under threat in India as in the US. Ooh, pardon. What do you predict for the elections next year? So they're having their big elections next year, everyone. Or even if the constitution, which is very well conceived, will be radically changed. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, this is a big deal. Yeah. And we have to keep our eye on India because it is a progressively powerful country.
World's biggest democracy.
Yeah.
Do you have any inside scoop on that, Lena? Any of your spider senses, your contacts out there that can tell us anything about?
Well, I think the problem is Modi is really, as I understand it, really unpopular with those who think, and then massively popular on another level. So because there's so many people, the huge numbers, so he's, if any Indian viewers can let us know, he's both hated and fated.
Revered. Oh gosh, wow.
So it could go either way, yeah.
That's quite a combination, isn't it?
Oh, and someone said in the comments, and he's a friend of Vivek, who we'll be talking about.
No, oh gosh. Honestly, I've got to think up of a name for Vivek, because this guy, he obviously gets around. Wow. Oh dear.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
Who is ready to go?
Well, I can if you like.
Go for it.
Okay. So the Justice card came out on top. So people are concerned about changes to the Constitution and so forth. This will be a big issue as the election goes forward. Here is the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. So this is a message about money and finances going forward for the country. And the Knight of Wands, this is someone, I think, pushing back verbally. So in other words, Modi is going to say, we'll have to do this and we'll have to do that. And this is, to me, representing a movement pushing back against that. In the end, I hope I'm wrong, but this suggests to me, with the Seven of Swords, not an outright theft of the Indian election, but incidences that aren't good, right? You know, then people will have to work on it very hard, the Apprentice card, step by step, to work together if they're going to topple him probably the next time round. In other words, I think he'll probably win this election. And this to me is further out. They'll have to work together to get rid of him in the future. Love to be wrong. Love to be wrong.
Wow. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the center of all of it, we have the not going rapidly, wanting to, get the best that he can get. But we have the people coming together, and he's going to feel a bit pushed to the edge with this. On the edge, going into it, we have above it this new idea, the messages about him and his power, and people want to end the ugly uglies of the, basically the uber right wealthy in India. The challenge is, again, the people coming together and really putting an end to this, because there's a lot of illusion and delusion and fantasy that's been put out in history. And so they've got to overcome that. But they are looking like they really would like to get rid of this guy.
Wow, those are quite some firecracker cards as well. All right, well, this is quite interesting. There's a lot of churn in the cards that I've got here, a lot of churn. So straight off the bat, look what comes out of the deck. Yeah, the Tower. Yeah. So there could be some fireworks here. I don't think this is going to be a bog standard election straight off the bat. It could be a surprising element. There's something unusual here. There's a lot of forces and dynamics at play. So for those of you that are watching that maybe in India or have family in India and stuff like that, keep some tabs for us, because I have a feeling we're probably going to be revisiting this again. If we look here in terms of the sort of technical obstacle card here, but really, I mean, it's all speaking of the same. This looks like here Modi, imagine this is Modi on the hill having to defend a position. Could there be some kind of bombshell thing that kind of comes out? Or is there a dramatic global event? Because now, of course, the weather is becoming just as much a part of politics as anything else. Something here which could might put Modi in a defensive position or something like that. And then when we look at the next card, because that was the 7 of Wands, then I get the 5 of Wands. So this could suggest political infighting, discourse, not a coordinated agreement about what to do. I hope, I'm just hearing my sort of psychic side is kind of kicking in. I'm just hoping it's not some kind of weather event or disaster, yeah, that causes Modi to be on the back foot and political disagreement. I hope not. If we look here, we then have the 4 of Wands. So do you see Wands again? And of course, this is about hitting a landmark, you know, or celebration and stuff. So this could be actually the completing of the election in of itself, yeah. But a victory for who? And when we look here, the outcome card is the 3 of Pentacles. So kind of picking up on what the ladies' cards were, I think there might be, as my brother would say, a bit of banduli going on. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of a sleight of hand, not naked cheating, but there's going to be something where people might be like, well, certain people paid off perhaps. And it's probably because there's something unexpected. We'll have to see what that tower will be, but it will show up.
India can get very toxic with, you know, it can get violence and things out there with some of the protests, etc.
But also under Modi, the Hindu supremacists have been encouraged. It's the same pattern that we see everywhere. And things are much more difficult for Indian Muslims since he took over.
Yeah, Muslims and Christians. I mean, they're always having the infighting, the, you know, attacking and saying the Christians are trying to, you know, take over the Hindus. And that goes on all the time there.
But now the actual violence, physical violence against Muslims is terrifying.
They have gotten that violence for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, I lived there for 5 years. I spent 5 years in India, and that's always going on. The Hindus are attacking the Christians, attacking the Muslims, the Musulmans, you know, they call them Musulmans. And that is just constant in India.
Wow. Because Kathleen O'Malley has asked, and I think it's very pertinent in terms of what we were just discussing now. She said, authoritarianism is running rampant. Why are people so willing to give their rights away with multiple question marks? I'll click it up, but it was kind of cutting off Lena's head a bit, so I'll just click it off again there. It went too high. But there is this energy, and in answer to that, before we move on to the next question, as you guys know, ad nauseum, I've been saying for ages, planet Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn, and it went into sidereal Capricorn on January 1st, 2021. Basically, and then 5 days later we had the insurrection. So it's showing that churning, and all that shadow is coming out in what? Government and politics. So anything else?
I could give you a 6-hour explanation sociologically of why people are attracted to authoritarians, but we'll skip that.
Well, we look forward to, you can weave it in future shows. Are we ready for the next question, ladies?
Absolutely.
All right, so this is the first of the first of 3 1-card pulls this evening, because you know the ladies love a 1-card pull. So here we go, and so do I. So quite a long question. I'll get through it, but I think it's a worthy one. So this is coming in from Zelina Donna 20. She says, hello, could you read more on the USA $1 trillion debt here? Now, I think I talked about this in the show, and I think we deal on our last one. But at the moment, there is over $1 trillion in credit card debt held by the American people, being charged at just over 20% interest. So you can imagine that's billions. So there's a deeper issue that needs light because of higher prices on everything. Housing costs, it's much more expensive to live. Wages have not gone up everywhere, especially rural America, where rent here has tripled, she says. Tripled. That being said, people use their paychecks to pay for house or rent and bills and have been using credit cards for everything else like food, medicines, etc., etc. Interest rates went up on the mortgage, so landlords have capitalized on that. And she asks, will things be exposed and fixed? Thank you. I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
Debt issues. It's certainly reached a new height, a new extreme, don't you think, ladies? It's just really gone up an octave.
Every time you turn around, they're raising the rates again.
Yeah.
And you know, the fourth leading cause of death now in America is hunger. I think I've said that before, but it's officially, literally people can't afford to. And that's even with food stamps and food banks. It's just extraordinary. America, will it be resolved?
It's a one-card pull, Hoagie.
Oh, yeah. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. I mean, I've been out all day in the sun.
Okay.
All right, after 3. I was thinking, why is everything so quiet? Anyway, oh God, after 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, mixed. All right, Lena, how do you interpret your card?
Well, it's not fabulous news, is it, really? It's like the public is struggling, really struggling with this. And this figure is kind of isolated. If you're looking for significant help, you'll have to whistle for it, which is why communities are so important. But this to me is the individual struggling.
Yeah, I agree. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Well, I think they're going to put out a lot of barking mad justifications and drama. Okay. Yeah, a lot of BS. And why? What's the situation causing it? Greed, smug version. Price gouging, profiteering, greed. There's more than enough money to go around. There need to be proper tax systems in place, redistribution of wealth and stuff. It's the greedy elite. That's pretty much.
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it? Those one card pulls.
Yeah.
I love the one card pulls.
Yeah, because they're revealing in their own way.
Yeah, they're just so concise.
Yeah, it's really concise, isn't it? Those 3 cards we got just described everything.
Totally.
Sorry, Lady G, were you going to say something else? Sorry.
No.
Okay. Okay. Are we ready then for the next question?
Yep.
Oh, gosh, I always get shivers sometimes from the one card pulls. It couldn't have said it any better.
Yes, exactly. It's
kind of spooky. Okay, so now we're jumping in our esoteric aeroplane and we're going to fly to Africa. So this is a question that's come in here from Nicola McLafferty. So she says here, Africa seems to be experiencing a lot of military takeovers. There's another one that's happened in Gabon recently, if I understand correctly. Is this connected to China and Russians' influence and their interest in the resources available? Good question, yeah?
Good question. This is a regular spread or a one?
Yeah, regular one. Full fat, this one, full fat.
Yeah.
Even though the diet version is very accurate.
It's, yeah.
Is it?
because China's been playing the long game.
Very much. Very much. Huge influence in Africa now. What I find remarkable, I don't know if you saw this, ladies, but you know where the Wagner group was in there, and you just saw the local people that was sort of like tearing up the French flags, and then they're stitching and sewing Russian ones, and it's just like, really, like really. Let's have a look. Ooh.
Oh, God.
Wow, very interesting. Okay, who's ready to go?
I can.
Go for it.
Well, I think there's a lot of confusion around this inside and outside. So for those of us in Western countries and so forth, it's confusing because we know so little about Africa and the various countries that are going through huge things right now. So, but I think this is confusion within the continent as well. Post-colonial countries being left out in the cold, whether they were ruled previously by England, France, wherever, they were abandoned. And then here you have the false knight come in, which would be in the form of Russia or China. Let us help you. And China's really good at this. We'll build a road you need and put in 4 hospitals and 6 schools, and we'll just take those minerals. Thank you. You know, so, but you can't blame people. They've been abandoned by the colonial powers. So this looks good. And I'm talking here 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. Someone's made a lot of money. And I would suggest it wasn't the locals. But this is interesting. It's like it's time for a karmic turn. This is a fabulously wealthy, talented continent.
Oh.
Right? Dynamic, amazing people to turn the wheel themselves and to move away from this previous way of being.
Oh, look at that. So the synchronicity tonight, my goodness.
That's demented, fabulous. Yeah, so it's a challenge, to sum it up. Yeah, it's a challenge going, are we going to have more of the same and swap this dictator for that dictator? Or is it going to be a more permanent, deeper, structural change?
Wow. Wow. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, above it all, they want to go forward to an easier time, a better thing, but there's the burden of the message that's being put out that they're hearing. The foundation is wanting justice, but they don't like what's coming down, and this is very slow progress, if any. They're feeling that things are being turned upside down. It could be part of it, Russia and China as well, trying to get away with this and control the theft. And we have the challenges going forward, you know, to the karmic thing and getting the wheel turning into something better.
Wow. Really, really interesting cards. And we have 1393 has just gone up. So we're almost 1400 with us.
Thanks, guys.
Tonight. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you guys, I'm sure you've been impressed, as I have already. The synchronicity between the cards tonight has just been ridiculous. I mean, like, we're 17 time zones and we're all pulling pretty much the same cards. So here, in regards to Africa and like, is the Russia and China influence? Yes.
Yeah.
Here it is, the King of Swords. So what's the King of Swords about? Of course, this is about rationality. It's about legalities and stuff like that. So the way I see this is, because Russia and China are in the mix, this is about calculation for me, almost kind of cold, steely calculation. Yeah. It's almost like they're looking like, how can we carve up Africa in a way? This is almost how I see it. But I think this is also talking as well, like with the ladies' cards as well. This could be the old colonialist, or is this the colonialism 2.0? Yeah,
exactly.
Especially when we look here, look at that. I got the same card, the out in the cold card. So it's like they have been abandoned by those forces. And I think you've said before, Lena and Lady G as well, but essentially what Africa said was America gives us lectures, China gives us roads and schools. Yeah. So that's how things have changed. And I think Africa is getting a little sick and tired of this, as being seen as the poor relative being out in the cold all the time. I think they want a bold new start. Yeah. Here they are wanting to go into the world full breasted. I like I say here, boobs out. Yeah. Boobs out. Yeah, because Africa, as we know, is such an incredibly rich, diverse, multifaceted country. They should not be poor. Everyone knows that really Africa should be like Wakanda. We wish it could be the case, but do you know what I mean? Because they have so many resources. That's why the world literally keeps coming there. So it's almost showing the global interest in Africa. But I think this is also Africa wanting to take its full role on the global stage. That's how I'm seeing that element there. However, there are machinations going on. Queen of Cups. And we know, as Lady G would say, in the crucible of abominations. I think this is a lot of those kind of, corrupt leaders, unfortunately. They seem to be very easily bribed. They want to hold on to their power, and they're prepared to use secretive means to maintain it, or not so secretive, as in the Wagner group. Yeah, they use that. However, the outcome card, look at this. It's the Ace of Cups. So maybe, just maybe, because remember as well, the ladies, folks, they both got the Wheel of Fortune. I got the World card. So all three of us get a card for big dynamic change. And then we got this, which is actually a very positive card for the outcome. So is it the case that Africa eventually shakes off the yoke? We shall have to.
Totally.
Interessante. Anything to add to that, ladies, before we move on?
I'd just like to comment here. Dr. Nancy, hi, long-term supporter. She says, globalism, I believe, began under Clinton. Charity would have been better. But I think it goes back to Reagan. Because that was the birth of the neocons. Privatize everything, let business do whatever it wants to do. And that's when it wasn't really globalized in the sense of people. It was mega corporations becoming more powerful than countries. And so on the left, we were very critical of all of that back in the 80s. And now, 40, 50 years later, no one's got secure work. Housing is going up. The industries have been destroyed in the West that used to absorb blue-collar workers. So it all went offshore because of the famous $5 T-shirt. And so the real mystery, I think, is when Trump promised to bring back steel and bring back this and didn't, no one talks about capitalism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As soon as you mention the C word, you're a raving socialist or communist. Yeah. And so they get away with it. They've dominated this thing of just calling it business. No, it's exploitative capitalism.
Absolutely. Yeah, couldn't agree more. And someone saying here, Dorothy, thank you. She loves the collaboration. Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's happening now is the penny is actually starting to drop for a lot of people. And I think the realities post-pandemic as well is also making the penny drop for a lot of people, because that time, folks, it was said at the time, but it wasn't believed. But now it's really becoming really clear. That has been one of the biggest transfers of wealth in human history, from the bottom up to the top. So many people, so many billionaires were created over that time. It was an obscene amount. At one point, I think it was like 50 a week or something.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd.
Vulture capitalism. I love that, Wheezy. Thank you.
That's the one. All right. So now it's time to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah. Oh my God. And we also have to see what Shakespeare thinks. Has Shakespeare done Vivek Ramaswamy yet?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Let us know in the comments when we're doing that.
Yeah. So
I'm going to use the circus cards for Vivek.
Of course. Actually, you know what? That's a good point. I think I'm going to change deck as well. And I'm going to dig out my, do you remember this? My Blanco Nero deck?
Oh, yes.
I think go to the darker side on this one as well for this absolute. I can't even. I'm going to leave it to
I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the dogs and put them in the
dog
room way over there.
While you're doing that, just good comments here, guys. Martin Luther King warned against capitalism in the 60s. Bernie Sanders talks about capitalism a lot and written a book. Yes, he has. The problem is he paid the price. I love Bernie, but, you know, he was marginalized by CNN, MSNBC. They literally would not have him on.
Yeah, we're going to give him
Washington Post, New York Times. They will not go there, you know, and bless Bernie. Corporate welfare has to stop. Thank you. I think we should all start using that term, corporate welfare, because people get it. They hear it. They might not have heard it before, but they go, corporate welfare, you mean we're giving welfare to big companies? In Australia, we subsidise the coal industry for $250 million or billion or something a year. I mean, some ridiculous.
Yeah, just crazy, isn't it? So the question, so there were two questions for Vivek. So I'm going to read them both because I think they cover both ends of the seesaw on this one. So this one's first bit is Gillian Faring. She said, "Hi, Hogarth and ladies. I love HoGaLe. So I'd like to know, will Vivek," and she says, "I call him Rotten Swampy, bless, drop out or be forced out because of lies in terms of the presidential race?" So there's that energy. And then the other one, and when I learned this, I found it so shocking. I was just like, it's so crazy. So this is coming from Loring 8943. And she says, "Hello to you all. Ramaswamy's tax records show that the first time he ever made big money was when he hyped up an Alzheimer's drug. Do you remember this? And it was called Axavant." She's saying it was called Axavant, which had been discarded by other pharmaceutical companies. And she says that by milking millions out of mom and pop investors, the drug failed FDA testing. And I think she went on to say that he made a whole lot of money out of it. So both questions, apparently that's how he made his fortune, basically by lying and reviling.
Hideous, man. Hideous.
It's horrible.
Oh, so
he also denies 9/11.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty hardcore as a presidential candidate saying it didn't happen.
Wow. Okay. So we didn't see the towers come down then. All right.
No, that'd be wrong. I mean, really, what?
Were you going to say something, Lady G?
No. What's our question?
So the question is, this is about so I think the first one is the more succinct one. So it says, "I'd like to know, will Vivek drop out or be forced out because of his lies and stuff during the presidential race?" So basically, will he make it? And I think that's
will he be there at the end?
Yeah, will he be there at the end? Vivek. Oh, 1,500 of you now. Wow. Vivek. Gosh. Part of me, when I think of his name, it makes me think of vivisection, but I need to come up with something that's more. I don't know him well enough yet for a nickname, but what I've seen,
it'll come.
Yeah, it will come. Something.
I'll figure it out.
He's still too new. I don't know enough about him. Vivek. He'll still be around.
Do you want me to go?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. In the circus deck, he gets the Knight of Coins here. Knight symbolizing that he's still young by political standards, certainly in the US. What about, oh, I mean, please. Anyway, don't start me on that one. Knight of Coins, I've got money, I'm rich, therefore I'm clever, therefore I'm fabulous, you know, making all those assumptions. The problem for the party is the party don't like him because they're still racist and they're not comfortable with the idea, right? That's a burden to him, his ethnicity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bit too brown for them.
A bit too brown, bit too many syllables in the surname.
Yeah.
So they want to find a role for him here because this is the offer he doesn't want. And they're saying, look, maybe they won't fund him fully or something, but maybe you could do this, Vivek, and get us the Indian vote. You know, they're always on the lookout. He's a strong character, but this card is fundamentally about taming the beast. And I think he's failed to do that. I think he is just a shallow creature. But this is more, my cards are more about how the GOP as a unit reacts to him, because I think they're very conflicted. They don't know what to do with him, particularly when he got quite a good response from the debate, saying all the things that he said. Miraculously, he got a good response. So he's a bit of a problem for them.
Yeah, I agree.
So in other words, I don't think he'll be there at the end as a candidate.
Yeah, makes sense. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have is above it, we have new emotions coming out about him and light on the fact of him trying to go forward and, make himself relevant. That's his challenge. The foundation, he may have some female supporters, but going into it, he's going to be kind of taken out of things and feeling like he's kind of pushed to the edge. Okay, things are kind of going to be blowing up for him. At the center of it, we have his fishtails out there telling the nonsense. He comes in, wants to think he's a strong opponent, but now he's kind of hung up. They see him as kind of the bat, okay? The bat guy, and kind of a, how do we want to say it? A vampire, sucking the blood out of him. So he's got the challenges get those to rally around him, to continue to build something with him. And so that's the message, that he's going to continue to go out and put out that energy. But they're kind of going, no.
Yeah, very interesting. It is the cards he's got. Quite a mixed bag of cards here. So in terms of the question, will he basically still be around and stuff like that? And the card I get for him, look, 5 of Pentacles, so out in the cold. So I think for me, he's someone. It's like the image that comes into my mind is almost, like in Chinese New Year where you get the fireworks. I think he makes a lot of not the ones in the sky, but the ones that are on the ground. When the dragon is dancing. I think we're going into Dragon Year next year, and I've just been shown that in my mind's eye. So it's almost like he makes a lot of noise, he makes a lot of bangs, but he doesn't make much impact. I'm not sure how much impact he's going to make on the electorate. I think, the GOP base, they like someone who's going to rile something up. But ultimately, I do think he is out in the cold. He's not a neat fit for the GOP. He's not again, an unusual look and a funny name, in their mentality. Yeah. Particularly when you look at his obstacle card. Oh, dear, death. Oh, yeah. So look, out in the cold and death. And it's like, in terms of your one's campaign, this is not looking very promising, is it, guys? So I think what will happen is, as his campaign goes along, I think there's going to be some unexpected transformations and changes. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be broke, but there could be an element where maybe his campaign peters out or something like that. But his cards change again. And in the middle, we have the Ace of Cups. So again, I think for him, this is about him emotionally sort of ginnying up the base. I think this is what this is about. Get the emotions going, get everyone excited, come out with some buzz phrases and catchphrases that hit the headlines, and hopefully that will be enough to get me victory. Yeah, get him across the line, because here we got the 5 of Wands. But look, when we look at the outcome cards, 1600 now. When we look at the outcome card, look, he gets the 7 of Cups. So his tactics really are quite delusional, because he's out in the cold and doesn't seem to know it. The Grim Reaper is coming, and he really should be scared about that. He wants to get everyone's emotions overflowing because he thinks by shock and awe he can win. But really, I think he's a bit of a delusional character, and it's not going to play out in the end. That's
Which I agree. You know what Vivek means?
No.
Vivek is like discernment. It's like there's the Vivek Chudamani is the discernment of that which is beyond the temporal. Okay. So Vivek, he's the opposite of that. He has discernment. And Swami means that you're Lord over your emotions and a Lord over your life. You know, you've got it together. Okay.
Wow.
You're grounded, you're centered, and you're in 0 point balance.
Yeah.
But he is, you know, the narcissist. He's definitely the opposite of it.
Delusional. He's delusional. Wow. Thanks for that.
And in the comments we have, Andy's an awful rapper.
Oh my God. Yeah. Didn't he used to be a rapper or something? Oh my God. These people, they're so dreadful.
You know what I'm going to call him? Nakali Baba. Nakali Baba is one that's a fake Baba, a fake swan, a fake Nakali Baba.
I love it.
Wow.
But I think at this stage of the primaries too, even like Trump himself, they just want to be able to say, I was a presidential contender. Right, that's on their resume, even if they die in the ass the next day. Right? Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So we've got another 1 card pull up here.
Oh, goody.
Now we're going to be talking about flat tire Trump. Yeah, otherwise known as DeSantis. God, this guy's so dreadful.
Oh, sorry. Don't we need the bard on Vivek?
Oh yes. Pardon. Who called last time? I think it might be Lady G. Is it you this time? I think it might be Lady G.
Is it
last time?
I think it is Lady G this time.
Is it my turn? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was Lena last time. All right. So this is the Bard's spin. Thanks for reminding me. This is the Bard's take on Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's see. So tell me when to stop.
Yeah. Now.
Luckily, Baba.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at this. Okay, well, this is from Troilus and Cressida. This is what the Bard thinks. He's not held back here. He said, "Thou crusty batch of nature." And then on the second page, he said, this is from Henry IV, Part 1. He says, "Bolting hutch of beastliness."
Oh. Not very flattering for Vivek.
Not very flattering. As we've seen, the Bard, as we know, has a huge breadth. Sometimes he can be very subtle, and we ponder, we reflect, and then sometimes he just comes out with stuff. So he doesn't think much about Vivek at all, because he's just, look, "Thou crusty batch of nature, bolting hutch of beastliness." There you go. That says it all, really, doesn't it?
And one more snippet before we move on.
Sure.
Eminem sent him a cease and desist letter on rapping to his music while on the campaign trail.
Oh my gosh. There you go. I mean, there you go. Wow. My goodness. All right. So are we ready for a one card pull, ladies? Another one card pull.
Yeah.
So this is coming from Coco Cooks, and a very simple question. Will DeSantis refusing to meet Biden affect his presidential run? So can you guys fill me in on that? So has he refused to meet Joe Biden, apparently?
I saw that headline somewhere. If people could let us know in the comments. I think it was over the hurricane. And Biden wanted to come in and he refused to meet him. And I think that's the context. How pathetic.
That would make sense for him, wouldn't it? Gosh, it's so dreadful, this man. So utterly dreadful. Okay, so will DeSantis refusing to meet Biden affect his presidential run? And this is a one card pull because we've got a couple more to squeeze in if we can. And let's just see. And as we know, sometimes the one card pull, can be so laser sharp. All right, so one card pull. Will this affect DeSantis? Do we have our cards? All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, right.
Okay.
Right, Lady G. I mean, sorry, Lena. What? How do you?
Yeah, we've got to stick in the order, or we all lose track. Yeah, that's right. Wheel of Fortune. So I'd say yes, it was unnecessarily rude, failing to meet the president. I'm sorry, rude. You know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's trying to present himself as all that in a bag of chips, but we know that he's pretty sick there.
Yeah.
So that's the emperor, yeah? He's there wanting to be the emperor. Wow. And look, my card here says it all. He gets the death card. Yeah. So this guy, I feel like all of us are looking, and I think everyone is seeing, even on the right, that his campaign is not really going anywhere. I think his chances of somehow sweeping into the lead, he's just so deeply unappealing and so talentless as a politician.
Exactly. Yes. And that he wants to go ahead and be an authoritarian, etc. Yeah. Like I said, his name is, we know the name I gave him.
Yeah. And I just think he's just he has there as a politician, at least, obviously, Duck Larange, we know how terrible he is, but I remember someone on some channel describing him as this kind of sort of evil charisma, which can get you, as we see, can get you many places. Whenever I just look at DeSantis and think about him, he has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. I think he's one of the most talentless, plastic and false politicians that's ever been. I honestly think Mike Pence has got more to him than
that's saying a lot.
Honestly, I really do. But anyway, shall we move on, ladies, to the next question? All right, so we're nearly there. We're racing through. Oh, this is a Trump one. Duck Larange, I forgot about him. So here we are. So this is coming from Ron Brock 7490. So it says there, hi Hogarth and ladies. The question of Trump here persists. Will that jerk make it onto the Republican ballot for president? Will he get the nomination? And hopefully not. Is there a chance he could win? So really, that's 3 questions in there. Thanks to all 3 of you for what you do. So let's just read on that. We know the 14th Amendment is being dusted off and actually cases filed. So let's just see let's just read on Trump's chances. Is it all completely dead in the dust?
Let's just go general.
Let's just check. Duck Larange. In fact, I'll use the black and white deck again. Has anyone been watching the series on Amazon Prime, which is called The Wheel of Time? You guys been watching that?
Worth watching.
Yes, I don't watch many series, but this one, it's got a lot to do with magic and the Aes Sedai and people that can channel power from source and all this kind of stuff. So it's like a combination of Lord of the Rings and I don't know, I can't think of anything else, but it's pretty good. Second series, and I'm really getting into it.
Oh, a couple of people have said a huge oak tree has fallen in the grounds of the governor's mansion. In DeSantis' mansion, this historic oak tree has fallen.
Wow, that says a lot. And he got the death card. I just think he's just dreadful. He's just one of the worst politicians ever. Worst. Terrible.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, look. My gosh, you wouldn't believe these cards. Who's ready to read?
I can.
Go for it.
Look, how he thinks of himself, the Knight of Swords, I'm a political warrior thing, when in fact he's just a shadow on the wall. He thinks as an emperor, in that he really doesn't listen to anybody, because you can be sure the people he sacked were the ones saying, can you smile once every 5 days, please? Could you please try and look remotely interested in another human, and so they've all been sacked. He's a true emperor in the ugliest sense of the word.
Wait, but is it, sorry, Lena, I got confused. You are reading on Trump here or DeSantis, or did I get that?
No, I went into DeSantis.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's supposed to be Trump. I'll abort.
Supposed to be Trump.
I'll abort. You guys go and I'll come back to Trump. And it was so DeSantis.
I was like, oh.
Abort.
But it was the oak tree. That's what it was in the comments.
That's what it was. It tripped me over to the oak tree. Okay, you guys go.
Lady
well, what the foundation is the message, and we've got struggling to go forward to calmer waters, because above it we have his nefarious things going on. And I think he's surrounded by the judges, and then also a lot of the states are now starting to look at the 14th Amendment and bringing that out as well. So what's being worked on is an ending with as many people supporting him. Okay, that's coming to an end. And the challenge is trying to figure out how to go forward and sell this.
Yes. And it's so funny, isn't it? Because the second we start talking about Trump, what happens? The devil card does.
The merchant and the devil.
And I've got death.
Oh, see exactly. How often, when we pull on Trump, isn't it? The devil card or the death card, we always get some big, major arcana. So here we are. His gift is grift, Ace of Pentacles has come out. Dead or alive, this guy, literally, I think Trump will be able to, has probably done a whole load of pre-recordings so he can grift from the grave, It's just, he's just like, you know what, and again, it's that fool's gold. He gets the full gamut of interpretations for this card applied to Trump, because he's tried absolutely every single one of them, and he's like, as long as I have money, I'll be all right. So there he is. But look, obstacle position, he is having sleepless nights, as brave as he tries to play out, and with his blue steel look and all of this kind of stuff, he is actually suffering quite a lot. I think he's having quite a lot of sleepless nights, nightmare. How could you not, with this many cases, and knowing how determined as well Jack Smith are and Fani Willis? He knows he's in the jaws of justice. It would take a miracle for him to get out of this. Here he is in the middle. Woe is me. Oh, embattled, exhausted, tired from every stick that's been thrown at him. I mean, obviously, when your head is made of lead, it means you can take a few blows. But I think
Yeah.
even he's getting a headache right now. You can see the Band-Aid on here as well. And what's it all about? Look, it's the devil, the vice, the attachments, the lies, the mishigas, all of the various different tools that Trump uses. But it's not just that. It's him, but it's also the GOP as well, who still can't divorce themselves from this guy. And this is also as well, going back to DeSantis. DeSantis should give up, because if you cannot beat a quadruple time indicted whatnot who's stolen records, who's the absolute criminal of criminals and grifting, and you still can't be ahead against this guy, then what's the point? But if we look here, we have the Chariot. So things are moving forward at speed. Now, normally, if we were talking about normal people, this would be something positive. But we know, what does Trump want to do? He wants to delay everything. So the last thing he wants as his outcome card is the Chariot. But there he is. And I think he's kind of half mangled under one of the wheels already. So will he make it? I think he might make it onto the ballot, but then it's likely that he'll be disqualified or some other thing will come forward. But either way, it's going at pace.
Yeah.
Lena, what are your cards?
Well, I'd agree with that summation. I mean, here he is. It could be him in a leotard doing it. You know, I love these cards. This is him presenting. But he's got the death card. But because he won't die, he's forced to keep juggling swords and possibly ending up in some sort of facility. But back to this one, I think it's like one of the comments here about staying awake at night and being stressed. I think he's staying awake at night for other reasons. But it's sort of, with a narcissist, he's motivated by rage and outrage more than pity even. There's a pity embedded in it, but he can't quite believe it. All these swords, I've always got another sword. You know, that's the energy. But I don't think he'll be there. Truly, I don't. I think he'll be the nominee. I think we'll be very close to 2024 election or whatever. But these cases, something has to give.
Yeah.
It's too crazy.
Yeah, something will come. Something will come. Right, we've got just over 1,700 now. Wow. Even though we've hit time, but wouldn't it be nice? Let's turn it into a one-card pull. What the rest of the world thinks of America, and we'll close there. How about that? And that would be a real. So this came in.
It seems a shame to rush this one.
I know. I mean, we could do a full one. I don't mind.
No, we're over time. We can revisit it sometime down the track. We can
revisit. We'll do a one-card warm-up, everyone. Yes. This is a one-card warm-up. So Wild Wisdom Journey says, hi, Hogarth. I have the question for HoGaLe. Given the deranged political state of affairs in the US, how do other countries view America now? Since the worldwide view of America may vary somewhat, what is the current dominant international view of the US? Thanks. So we'll pull one card as an intro, and then we'll revisit later. All right. Ready? After three. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, major arcanas.
All 3. Wow. That is, wow. That's quite something.
Oh,
Lena, how do you interpret? Wow. All major arcanas.
I think they fit together amazingly, actually. This is my Wake Up America card, right? Every time it comes out, like, this is people being raised up to wake up and follow the clarion call. If you want to keep democracy, stand up and fight for it. This is about a turning point, major point in US history.
Yeah.
Yep, I think they see us as upside down and just stuck, and we need to look deeper and see a better view as to what's going on to get ourselves moving forward again.
Yeah.
Indeed. And my card here, so we see the star card, which we often associate with what? The best of America. So really what I think this is that America, you need to remember yourself, the best part of yourself. Turn yourself from upside down. And this is the clarion call, like we're saying, because the rest of the world, like with Lady G's card, it looks upside down, wonky, Alice in Wonderland. Remember your finest virtues. Go back to your finest virtues and you will have peace again.
Yeah, when I see that card, it's the double-edged sword, because that's also my card for Trump. So we can go either way. We're stuck and we need to look at that and look for something higher.
Yes. And not leave it to everyone else, because it's hard when you're burnt out and exhausted. Just find some little thing to do that moves things in the right direction.
Yeah. Wow. What is it with the one card reads?
They're killers, aren't they?
Absolute. They just like, it's so concise. For a question of that complexity, for it to be
I was saying we'll have to roll on for next week and all this.
And it was like it said it all.
I think we should have a one card pull day.
Yeah, we must do that. Yes, but maybe we'll do that next week, where we just do one where we do one card pulls and just see what, because they are just laser beam, absolutely.
They're just great. I love them.
Wow. Okay. So we've run to time, everyone. Thank you so much for your donations, being here with us, showing your love and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well to support everything. And don't forget to support the ladies as well, who are also in the video description below. That was really fascinating. I never thought such a big, broad, complex question could be so concisely.
No, I would not have considered it as a one-carder. No.
I mean, neither. So that was extraordinary. We look forward to seeing you, of course, next week. I know, Lena, in September, you're going to be traveling a bit. So Lena's come up with someone. Sorry, could you mention her name again?
Deanne Shield Maiden, who's been here today. Hi, Deanne. To fill in for me. If I can't make it.
That's who will be filling in for Lena when she's off on her adventures and travels, whenever that moment is. We will see you next week. We will leave it there. And we hope you enjoyed the show. And thanks for all the love and the support. Mwah! See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.